Hello guys, welcome to daily classes, and today we are going to cover 12th August current affairs. For the PDF, you can go to our Telegram channel, that is at daily classes. We have 218 subscribers, and we also post questions of previous year UPSC, so you can also attempt that. And today's 12th August, so we have two important days today. Number one, World Elephant Day and International Youth Day. There is no particular theme for World Elephant Day, but for International Youth Day, the theme is Integrational Solidarity, Creating a World for All Ages. If you want to remember the theme, just remember that for the Youth Day, it's creating a world for all ages. Youth and all ages. You can connect these two words so that you can remember that. Okay. So our first question is, recently ISRO's maiden small satellite launch vehicle SSLV flight fails to deploy satellites. In which orbit are these satellites being taken? And the options are geostationary orbit, low Earth orbit, polar orbit, and sun synchronous orbit. So I'll explain you all these, but the answer is low Earth orbit. Just remember, these are small satellite launch vehicles, so these vehicles cannot go or travel much distance from the Earth, so they will be at low Earth orbit. Okay, there are different types of orbits as we see in options: geostationary orbit, low Earth orbit, polar orbit, and sun synchronous orbit. So first we see low Earth orbits. That is the answer of this question. So low Earth orbit is relatively close to Earth's surface, okay, and it is normally at an altitude of less than, just remember this word, of less than 1000 kilometer, but could be as low as 160 kilometer above the Earth. So it should be from 160 to 1000 kilometer. That is our low Earth orbit criteria. You must remember this. See, this is our low Earth orbit. Okay. Next we see another. Then first we talk about geosynchronous orbit. Geosynchronous orbit is a circle, Earth above the equator. See this? This is our equator. So this is our orbit. It's equal to approx Earth's orbit. Therefore it travels, if we launch any satellite, then it travels with Earth. That's why it is geostationary. For Earth, the satellite is stationary. If Earth moves from this point to this point, then our satellite also moves from this point to this point. So this is stationary for Earth. That's why it is known as geostationary orbit. Then we have polar orbit. It orbits the polar. See, we have two orbits that we'll study in synchronous. One is polar orbit and second is sun synchronous orbit. So if you see our Earth, this is our Earth. So we have poles here and here. So this is our polar orbit. But sun synchronous is just divide from the center like this. This is our sun synchronous and this is polar orbit. Hope you understand it. If you have any query, you can comment in comment box and we'll make another video just to explain this part. Okay. Next question is, recently finance minister said government cannot dictate where corporate bonds must spend CSR fund. So our question is, what is the full form of CSR? CSR full form is corporate social responsibility. This is our answer. What is corporate social responsibility? It is a commitment by businesses to integrate social and environmental concerns into their business operations. Okay, so like if business earns so much by using the resources of our earth, so it is their responsibility, social responsibility, to spend some money in environmental concerns. So this is corporate social responsibility. Next question. Great Barrier Reef is in the news for the highest levels of coral cover. The reef is in which country? So first question, the reef is in which country? So Great Barrier Reef is in Australia. See, this is the Australia map and this is the Great Barrier Reef. Earlier we have a news that Great Barrier Reef is deteriorating, but now the news is that now it has the highest level of coral cover right now. Okay, so the answer is Australia. Just remember this. And if you ask me what is coral reef, so coral reef are large colonies of invertebrate, tiny, small-bodied animal, which is known as coral polyp, and it has symbiotic relationship with small algae, whose name is zooxanthellae. Zooxanthellae. Okay, so just remember these 2 points. One is coral polyps and zooxanthellae, and they have symbiotic relationship, means both gives benefit to each other. Our next question, the New START Treaty is in the news. It is an agreement for nuclear arms reduction between USA and which country? So there's an arm race between two countries always. One is USA and another is Russia. So the answer is Russia. Okay. So this treaty says that what happened is, recently Russia halted USA inspection of nuclear arsenal under this treaty. So what is this treaty? This treaty is an agreement of nuclear arms reduction between USA and Russia, and it entered into force in 2011. Okay, and one most important point is it caps to 1550 numbers of nuclear warheads that can be deployed by USA and Russia. So let's see Russia map. Okay, so this is our all Russia, and this is the Siberian region, this is Ural region. These are Ural mountains. Ural mountains are the ones which bifurcate Russia from Asia to Europe and somewhat other. Okay, these are some seas and islands. You just go through it once. Okay, we will provide all the PDF and the explanation part also at our Telegram channel. Next question is, Taiwan is focusing on Porcupine Strategy. This strategy is related to which of the following? As we all know that there is a difference between China. There are differences going on between China and Taiwan regarding one China policy, that China claims that Taiwan is a part of China and no other country. Okay, so Taiwan is focusing on Porcupine Strategy to fight back in case China attacks it. The strategy of what is Porcupine Strategy? It is a strategy of asymmetric warfare, focuses on fortifying weak states' defenses to exploit enemies' weakness. Okay, it focuses on enemy's weakness, and this strategy aims to make Taiwan's defense secure and strong, that any attacker faces a ruinous cost. This strategy include intelligence, reconnaissance, plus guerrilla warfare strategy, and it also relies on the geography and demography of the island. So it is a very important strategy. If there's any question about Porcupine Strategy, just remember that it is Taiwan policy regarding China. Okay, and it is a warfare strategy. Next question. Recently, which country hosted the International Telecommunications Union RSF for Asia and Oceania region? So it is none other than India. India hosted it, and ITU is a United Nations specialized agency for information and communication technologies. And what is RSF? RSF is a platform for exchange of ideas and discussing the topics of standardization. Our next question. Recently, SEBI has proposed the concept of blue bonds. It is a debt instrument to support which of the following? Sustainable development goals, healthy ocean and blue economies, safe transportation of goods via oceans, floating solar plant. So the answer is healthy oceans and blue economies. So SEBI has proposed the concept of blue bonds. And blue bond is a debt instrument that is issued to support investments in healthy oceans and blue economies. What is blue economy? Blue economy is a sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth and improve job opportunities also. Next question. Recently, the term Cantillon effect is in news. What does this effect lead to? Mass extinction of human beings, changes in money supply, extinction of primary species, global recession. So the answer is this effect leads to changes in money supply. So Cantillon effect refers to the idea that changes in money supply in an economy cause redistribution of purchasing power among people and disturb relative prices of goods and services. It is named after 18th century French economist. The name is Richard Cantillon. Okay. Done. Cantillon effect related to changes in money supply. Just remember this. View this image. Next question. Indian Virtual Herbarium is a database of dried plants, which is in news these days as our Prime Minister recently talked about it. And the question is, it is developed by which of the following? And the answer is Botanical Survey of India. Just see the logo, Botanical Survey of India. Sometimes question may ask about the logo. Then, what is Indian Virtual Herbarium? As we mentioned, it is a database of dried plants. It includes some digital images and label data on each species. It is developed by Botanical Survey of India. Botanical Survey of India is under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and it is the apex taxonomical research organization in India. Next question. Recently, India begins cooperation with which country-based combined maritime forces? This may asked in defense exams. So the answer is Bahrain. Just remember Bahrain. I don't want to confuse you with other countries. So India begins cooperation with Bahrain-based CMF, that is Combined Maritime Forces. So what is CMF? CMF is a multinational naval partnership to promote security, stability and prosperity across international waters. What is international water? International water is RC, just like Indian Ocean. That is international. I mean, any country can enter into it, right? So CMF is a grouping of 34 nations. And if I ask you that India is a part of this, so the answer is no, India is not part of this CMF. It comprises of 34 nations other than India. And its focus are include to counter narcotics, counter smuggling, and suppressing piracy, plus encourage regional cooperation between them. Between whom? Between these 34 countries. So recently India cooperated with Bahrain regarding this. Next question is EcoStress, a multiple wavelength imaging spectrometer is in news to understand why wildfires affect certain areas more than others. This spectrometer is related to which agency? So number one, we need to understand the full form of EcoStress. So the full form is Ecosystem Spaceborne Thermal Radiometer Experiment on Space Station. Okay, Ecosystem Spaceborne Thermal Radiometer Experiment on Space Station. This is the full form of EcoStress. And the next question is, this spectrometer is related to which agency? So it is NASA. It is NASA's spectrometer. It helps to understand why wildfires affect certain areas more than others. It measures combined evaporation and transportation, which combinedly known as evapotranspiration. Okay, sorry, evapotranspiration. So, and that's how it measures wildfires affect certain areas. Next question, recently held exercise. This is our last question for today. Recently held exercise Vajra Prahar is between India and which country? So the answer is, remember, Vajra Prahar. So just think Vajra Prahar. There's no combination between Vajra Prahar and USA. So I'll find some another trick to remember Vajra Prahar and USA. First, just you remember the answer is USA. There are some other exercises between India and USA. So I'll write down here. One is Yudh Abhyas. Then another is Scope India. Red Flag. Okay, and Malabar Exercise. I hope you know about Malabar. It is a trilateral exercise, but recently trilateral between India, USA and Japan, but recently Australia also joined it, so we can say it's a quad now. Okay, so this is our USA map. There's some chota sa portion above also. So that's it. And once again, if you want the PDF and PDF of this one, and there's another PDF of a document in which explanations are also there. So you can go to our Telegram channel. We have 218 subscribers right now, and we also post previous year UPSC questions for you so that it will be easy for you to crack the exam. Okay, so thank you so much. This is it for our 12th August video.